Hi, I'm John Campea, the Movie Blog, and this is my quick review of the new Jim Carrey film, The Number 23. Now, as we mentioned, The Number 23 stars Jim Carrey. He plays an animal control officer, also known as a dog catcher, who through a really weird and unbelievable set of circumstances comes into possession of this novel that he starts to read. Now, as he's reading this novel, he starts to discover these weird similarities between himself and the character, but more than that, the character in the book is obsessed and almost haunted by the number 23. At the same time, Jim Carrey's character starts to realize that the number 23 has a lot of weird connections to his life as well, and hence the supernatural thriller begins. But the problem is the number 23 isn't a supernatural thriller. You watch the trailers and it does kind of lead you to believe a little bit that there's a supernatural element to this whole movie. For instance, in the trailer, you see the guy talking about the number 23. 2 divided by 3 is 0.666, the number of the devil, and all this kind of stuff. And you start to think there's going to be some supernatural element to it. And there's not. It wasn't super misleading, but there's no supernatural elements to this film. Myself and a lot of people have really been looking forward to seeing this movie ever since we first saw the posters and heard about it. I mean, Jim Carrey doing some kind of psychological, perhaps supernatural thriller horror movie. It's something that's pretty outside anything he's ever done. And on the surface, I want to say I applaud Jim Carrey for doing that, stepping outside of his normal comfort zone and doing something like this. It's a good decision. It was a good thing to try. The problem is, this movie is terrible. It's beyond boring. The logic leaps that the filmmakers want you as an audience member to just accept, like how everything came about and how this happened and how that happened, not to mention a completely unbelievable, imagination-stretching, dumb and boring, very much of a letdown of a twist ending at the end that was really unsatisfying for me as an audience member, I think just everybody else in there. The problem with the number 23 is that it takes a simple idea, obsession with this number, and stretches it way too far. For about an hour of the film, we're like, yes, we get it. It's weird that that is connected to the number 23. Yes, we get it. It's weird that that's connected to the number 23. Yes, we get it. That's connected to the number 23 too. And it's like there's a whole hour of this thing. It almost felt like when we were walking out of the movie theater, I turned to the people who came with me and I said, it felt like the number 23 was a great idea for a half-hour Outer Limits episode, but for a full-length feature film, there just wasn't enough there to justify it, and you could tell that the story suffered. It was stretched too thin. It was like butter spread over too much bread. And that's really what the number 23 comes across as. It's not exciting. There's no thrills, just unbelievable logic jumps, some very far-fetched coincidences that happen, and you're just supposed to accept it. Jim Carrey does fine in the film. I have no complaints about Carrey's performance. As a matter of fact, I have no complaints about any of the performances in it. The idea for the film is pretty good. It's just that the fatal flaw with the number 23 came from deciding to make it a full-length feature film when there's just not enough there to do it. Ultimately, you get to a very disappointing twist ending, and you walk out thinking, what the hell just happened? On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to end up giving the number 23 a 3 out of 10, and honestly, I think I'm being a little bit generous on that. On the scale of no going well, absolutely no. Don't bother. Don't waste your time going to go see this. For the Movie Blog, I'm John Campea.